Welcome back to Messy But Motivated, where it's okay to be messy because, life, yeah. I don't ever really know our intro, but we're here. That's all that matters. How's it going? Everybody good? I'm good. It is one of those days today. I'm tired. Y'all tired? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't know why. I feel like there's just not enough time in the day, and when there is, I'm still tired. I want all the energy and I don't have any. I don't know what's going on. I think it's that weird time between fall and winter where we're just like, meh. I'll tell you, one things that I get really nervous about is seasonal depression. Me and my husband, we're pretty bad at that. But this year, I'm saying, no, we ain't doing it. I'm not going to let it take over because we got the Lord this time. So not happening. You guys know I like to share my funny and messy. They are messy and funny moments in my life. And let's just get right into it because this week was a doozy. It was a doozy. I first want to start with saying, nobody, you know how I always say, people always say there's no book for parenting or for life, but it's the Bible. What about parenting? I need that book. Because listen, it's intense. I never thought in a million years I'd have to deal with bullying and all that. And I'm not a fan. I don't do it. I was bullied and I'll be damned if my kids are going to be bullied. So it's one of those things. And then I'm like, are you even being bullied? Do you just take things the wrong way? There's so many questions in my mind. And yeah, so I've been dealing with that lately, and a kid who doesn't want to go to school and all that stuff. So I kind of want to rip my hair out, but just dealing with it, I do feel like this is a time where the Lord is testing me. I do. Because I think he's trying to see how I'm going to handle this situation. And how I'm handling it is I'm really leaning on people to be like, how have you handled it? Or what should I do? I've really been going to people for things. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Tell me what to do. Please tell me what to do. I'm going to listen. I'm going to open my ears. Tell me, because it is exhausting. I think what I've come to is every kid thrives in different environments. My child, I think he loved homeschool, but he also missed his friends. I think we're going to do dual enrollment next year. I think he's going to go for the latter part of the day to school, the 2 hours, and then he's going to do the rest from home. The only reason I'm not homeschooling this year is he's in a reading, it's hard for him to read. And so they have him in classes there. And honestly, I guess what I was doing wasn't working, even though it looked and it seemed like he was improving. The teachers there, they know, they've been trained in that. They went to school for it. So I'm going to let them take over. And they've been doing amazing. So I'm just going to let them do it. And then I can do the other stuff. But yeah, it's been, that's not even a messy moment. Let me tell you the messy moment. I went into school conferences. Now, I will let you know, I don't know how y'all school conferences work. Mine work a week in advance. They'll send out something that says, hey, sign up for your conference. So I usually have, since I have both kids, I'm always trying to do it 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. So that's exactly what I thought I did. I put it in my calendar. I did all the things. I thought I had it all figured out, only to get there. And we walk in and she's like, oh, I have 2 minutes for you guys. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? And she's like, oh yeah, yours was at 4. And I go, oh my gosh, I had 4:15. In my calendar, I put 4:15. Nope, it was 4. And God bless her. She did take more time with us. And yeah, I'm just how did I do that? How did I do that? I still don't know how I did it. I even unless I was half asleep, I don't know. I got one of them right though. Got to Chloe's actually on time, and I got there early, so she let us in early. But y'all, I'm a mess sometimes. Oh, I'm a mess. And with this calendar, I'm over the calendar. I wish all calendars would sync. Every one of them. Because for some reason I have a calendar over there, calendar over here, calendar over there. No, I need one calendar. I need one calendar. You know what I was telling at the salon? Man, I got a lot to say today. This is my podcast, I guess. I was telling them at the salon today, I said, listen, people in this town need to come up with this business, because I am in like a leadership group and they're all talking, they all live in big cities, and they're like, oh yeah, I have this. I think I've talked about it on here. Oh, they have like helpers and they pay them like $20 an hour to like, hey, why don't you go and return this for me? Why don't you go to the post office and do this for me? Like things like go pick up the grocery pickup, like things that I literally just don't have time in my day to do. I don't have enough time in the day. Oh, I need help. And then I beat myself up at the end of the night because I'm like, oh, forgot those coffee beans. Not going to have coffee tomorrow. My husband's, got to go to work with no coffee. And it's just like, and it's not like I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Another thing is that laundry. It never stops. It never stops. We're to the point we're about to give, for Christmas, my daughter a washer and dryer. She don't know it yet. But to be, here's your washer and dryer. It's downstairs. Have it. Do your own laundry. I'm over it. She is, and if you have teenagers, she ain't even a teen. She's 11. She thinks if she puts a sweater on, it's dirty. It's dirty. She'll have it on for 30 minutes and take it off and throw it on the floor because it's dirty. What are you doing? Oh. Whew, I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. My other messy moment is kind of like not even messy. It was kind of embarrassing. Now that I think about it. Last night, and on top of all that, my son's been having stomach issues. Now, just to give you a heads up, or a backstory, I should say, when my son was a baby, he had stomach issues, okay? They called it colic at the beginning, and then it went into indecession. It's where his intestines, like, twisted or something like that. Anyways, he always had stomach issues, and we thought he grew out of it. Well, lately, he's been throwing up every night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're back to this. And he says it burns, so we're knowing it's like the GERD or whatever. So I'm like, all right, we got to change your diet. Because my sister-in-law is a nurse practitioner, a pediatrics nurse practitioner. And she said, here's what they're going to say, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, all right, so we're just changing his diet. So we were supposed to have tacos yesterday. It's Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. No. Because that's one of the things, it's like, don't have, red meat or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's okay. I'll make like a chicken casserole. I get on Pinterest. I find this chicken casserole. Now, I should have known when I was pouring in. I followed it to a T. Okay? A T. It was like put mushroom, cream of mushroom, put cream of chicken, get rotisserie chicken, did it, shredded it all, put it in there, and then it was like pour the rice. And I'm thinking, why would I pour rice? Oh, and it had chicken stock in it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it would cook in there. Listen, it said 45 minutes and then uncover it with the foil and then do another 15 minutes. Did all the things. Why was that rice still crunchy? It was still crunchy. Whatever. I don't even know. I ended up, it wasn't done before me and Chloe had to go to church. And so Mike and Carson went to karate, and when they got back, he said they ate it and it was fine. The best part was the biscuit, the Red Lobster biscuits. I'll tell you what, I don't know. I'm just trying to live over here. I ate the crunchy rice. I didn't care. I'm like, well, nothing else to eat. I'll tell you what, I need to get it together. Yeah, if somebody wants to come cook for me too, I don't know who I think I am. Princess Diana? I think so. There's a lot of things that need to happen around here. We need to get somewhere where you can go record your podcast here in the area. There is a place, but it's where you can record movies and commercials and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's just a little out of where I am in my life right now. Maybe in like 10 years. I say 10. Oh my gosh. Like 2, 1.5. Shoot for the stars, girl. Aim for the moon. But as of right now, it's just like, nah. Like I looked up like the closest one, and it was like a place that was like an hour and a half from here. And they only charge like $175 an hour for one recording, which is all you really need. And you use all their stuff. Like, man, I wouldn't have to have all this stuff. I have a lot of stuff. Maybe I should open one. I just had a light bulb go off. Maybe I should open one. If I need one, that means somebody else needs one, right? I think there would be a lot more podcasts out there. I love podcasts. You guys like podcasts? I love them. I do. I'll be doing whatever I'm doing, listening to a podcast. Listen, because I don't want to watch the screen, but you can talk to me. I'll hear what you got to say. Tell me what you got to say. I want to hear it. It like gets me to know people too, especially if I know you already. And then you say you have a podcast. I'm excited. I'm like, ooh, tell me more. Tell me more. And of course, I got to tell you what I've been watching. Yes, the Hallmark Channel, but there's more, okay? I decided the other night, because listen, for those of you that watch the Hallmark Channel, you get to that point where it's like, okay, I love me some cheesy movies, but sometimes it's just nice to not watch a cheesy movie in a day. So I turned on, well, no, hold on. Let's go back a little. I was on Facebook and somebody messaged me and they said, have you seen that new show? What was it? Don't Date Brandon. If you watch my TikTok, you know what I'm talking about because I talked about it. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, no, I haven't watched it. And I was like, well, I've been trying to stay away from true crime, whatever. And they were like, no, this is like really good. Like you got to watch it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I like turned it on. I'm like, okay, what? They're talking about this guy that they both dated and one got married or both got married. I don't even know. So I was like, this is kind of okay. What is so good about this? And then it's only 3 episodes. And then it takes a turn. Like, I'm like, what is happening? And I'm not going to tell you what happened because I'm sure a lot of you are like, wait, I want to go watch it. It's called Don't Date Brandon. I found it on Amazon. Yes, on Amazon. And it is just so good. It is about this. They even started a podcast on it. Like the wives did. Yeah, they were trying to save these other girls to be like, hey, don't be dating him. Like he will ruin your life. And wow, their stories. And I'll just tell you, they have camera footage. He didn't know that they had a camera set up, one of the girls in her bedroom. Yeah. And he snuck in and then tried to lie to the cops. Oh my gosh. And the cops were like, so what if I tell you right now that I have? And you should have seen, he says, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Because you just got caught. You just got caught, dude. Oh my gosh. But it is just mind-boggling. It really is. If you haven't watched it yet, just watch it. And then, of course, watch the Hallmark Channel. I love the Hallmark Channel. Now, there are some movies this year I'm like, ooh, I have the best plot for a Hallmark movie. Y'all want to hear it? I'm creating a Hallmark movie. I don't have it all, like, nailed down. And I want you to know this will go nowhere. It's just staying on my podcast and in my mind. If I was writing a Hallmark movie, this is how it'd go. It would be these 2 sisters. One has it completely all together, okay? She lives out of state. She has it all together. They FaceTime every day. She has it completely all together. Her house is just like, oh, screaming Christmas. And then this other mom, or her sister, is like, does not have it all together. She's just like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't have enough time in the day to even decorate. Like, but I want to give my kids a good Christmas. And she's like, this, like, I'm a busy, like, we're just busy. I just don't have time for it. And, life. Pretty much. Well, then she is on Facebook and she sees an ad come up. And the ad is basically they'll take care of everything for your Christmas. You just have to come and it's like this retreat. 3 days. That's it. You guys just check in and everything is good. Like they'll take care of everything. It's like these log cabins and everything. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. Let's just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? And it turns out to be like their best Christmas ever. Their best Christmas. And like so many fun things happen there. And like her kids who usually like want to stare at their phones all the time actually meet like other kids that are their age and they actually have a good time and all the things. Don't steal my plot. Actually do it, please. If you're Hallmark, please take that plot and make a movie and then let me know about it so I can watch it. Okay. I'm a mess, you guys. I can't do my laundry, but you better believe I'm going to be making up Hallmark plots in my mind. I can't. Oh, Lordy. I also love to share with you something that I've learned in my faith this week. Because, I'm always learning. Always learning. Always. I'm like a sponge right now. I'm like, give me all of it. I want to know it all. Even though there are spots I'm like, ooh, that scares me and it's intimidating and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. But what I learned I'm in a book club right now, and we are reading The Magnificent Story. And let me tell you, one of the chapters that we just read is about Holy Saturday. Did y'all know about Holy Saturday? I had never even heard about it. And it says it's the most overlooked holiday. The most overlooked holiday. Well, day. They didn't say holiday. Day. Overlooked day. I'm like, okay, well, tell me more. I need to know. It is in between Good Friday and the resurrection, so Easter. So it's that Saturday in the middle. And they say Friday is mourning because that's the day that he passed. And then they said the Saturday is a moment of silence. And then on Sunday is the day of the resurrection, which is the day he comes back, day of celebration. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't understand. Like, what are we supposed to do? You're just supposed to be like, they consider it a day of silence. Like, you should be in your Bible. You should be like really thinking about how, because in our eyes and in their eyes as the disciples, because you have to imagine, I want to paint the picture for you. They just seen Jesus get nailed to the cross. Okay. And then the Pharisees say, okay, I want watches on this tomb, and then block the tomb, or, make sure the tomb is secured and all that. And then I want at the tomb, I want there to be security, or guards, sorry. And so where was Jesus? Because as think about this, his disciples are all mourning him, and they're just mourning him. And so many people have this thought in their mind that he's just gone. Now, lots of people say that he went to hell. There's so many, they say that he went to go preach to the ones who didn't get the chance to hear about the Lord. But you can go down that rabbit hole. That's a whole nother thing. And it's cool to hear really what everybody has to say about it, because there's so many different, what people think happened. But I choose to believe, this is me, Melinda, I can choose to believe this, that he did. I think he went and he was in hell, and he came back on the third day, which is the day of resurrection, which is Easter. So what are we supposed to do that day? We're supposed to just be quiet and journal or meditate or be in the gospel, do all the things. And just notice that day. Because you notice Good Friday. You notice that day. And then you notice Easter. We were also talking about how people don't, where'd the Easter bunny come into? Where'd that come into? I need to look that up. I still don't know. I need to look. I keep telling myself to look it up and then I forget. Where'd he come from? I don't know if I like him anymore. Why? Because it's taking the spotlight off of Jesus Christ. It's taking it off of him. That he is the reason for the season. He's the reason why there's an Easter. He was resurrected on that day. He came back to life. I don't know. And then somehow an Easter bunny happened. Stop. It's true though. I don't know. And some of you are probably like, oh, Melinda, I know why. I'm sure you do. I don't. I need to look that up. Just like Valentine's Day though. Like Cupid. I don't know, but then there's Santa too. What are we doing? Why didn't we just keep it with Resurrection Day and Christ's birthday, Jesus' birthday? Why don't we just do those things? Why'd we get Santa involved and Easter bunny involved? Why'd we do that? I need to know. Somebody tell me. Why'd we do that? And then if you took it from your kids, then they're the outcasts. Make it make sense. When really, you're the outcast. Why are you over there praising a bunny, celebrating a bunny that pooped you out some eggs, and a big old fat guy who brought you presents? Huh? I need to know. I don't know. Lots of thoughts going through my head right now. Today we're going to talk about when God says no and you get mad about it. Y'all ever had something like that happen? I have. I have a few times. I'm going to tell you a story about one time that was pretty big in my life where I can look back and I know God was like, hey, stop it. I'm going to keep saying no, even though you keep praying to me and even though you keep begging me, stop it. I'm going to have to say no every time. And I remember being so mad. I remember praying. I remember doing all the things. I'm like, why isn't he giving me this? Let's get into it. When I had decided to join the military, I didn't know which branch I wanted to go into. I was like, I don't know. First off, I didn't really know much about either branch, to be honest with you. I had no idea. I didn't know much about nothing. I know my grandpa had been in the Army. I know my best friend was in the Marines. So that's all I really knew. I didn't know anything else. And so, what do? You consult with people who have been in, and then you're like, where should I go? And ultimately ended up being like, I'm going to join the Air Force. So I go and I take the test. Now, for those of you who don't know, to get into the Air Force, you have to have a higher ASVAB score, okay? You have to have a higher one. And so I go take it and they're like, oh, now I can't remember if I missed it by 3 or by 2. I can't remember. It was something so small though. And I missed it. I missed the mark, okay? Now, if you want to retake the ASVAB test, you have to redo it in a month. You have to wait a month. And it was just crazy to me because what it kept saying was that basically what I was practicing on, which was the math, because I'm horrible at math, was saying I was doing good in math. But then everything else was like crappy. And I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. I'm like, whatever. So I went and got the ASVAB for Dummies. I mean, I sat at home and I just learned. I'm telling you, night and day. And I mean, I gave it like 110%. A month comes, I can go retake the ASVAB. Tell me why. And I'm praying, I'm doing all the things. I'm praying, I'm like, it's going to happen this time. I'm joining the Air Force. I miss it, and I want to say I miss it by 1 this time, just by 1. And that's the part I remember going to my car and I couldn't believe it. Like, I remember him saying you missed it by 1 and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I remember calling my friend and we laughed because what I do when I'm nervous or mad about something is I laugh about it because it's what else can you really do? So I just laughed. Me and her thought it was so funny. I think we probably went out drinking and it was what it was. Until the next day when I was like, all right, so where do we go from here? I can retake it in a month, which he was like, yeah, why don't you just retake it? I mean, if you want, retake it. And I'm like, this is stressful. Because in my mind, I'm going to go as soon as they let me go. So in my mind, I'm spending all my time studying and then you're going to go, I'm going to make it and then I'm going to go and I'm not going to see my family right away. So I'm wasting time. I don't even get to spend time with my friends and family right now because I'm so concerned with getting a good score. So I go and I said, I'm just going to, after talking to my friends, they were like, convinced me to join the Navy. Didn't convince me. We were really just like, hey, you should join the Navy. So I wouldn't have to retake it because I scored high enough for that. So ended up doing that. And I remember it was like, I remember even at boot camp, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. Because I should be in the Air Force boot camp right now. Now, the reason I had wanted to be in the Air Force boot camp is I heard it was super easy. And I was like, I heard you get these cards and you can say time out. Time out. Listen, time out. I need a break. I can't do this anymore. Now, I don't know. And I don't know if that's true, but they also said that they get Tempur-Pedic mattresses. I don't know if that's true. Just things I heard, which supposedly that's a thing. So, and then I'm over here on this mattress that's paper thin. It was like a rug, honestly. And I was just mad. I was so mad. Oh, I was so mad. Like, if y'all look at my Bible from like when I was in boot camp, it's so funny. Like, I should share it with y'all one time. It's funny because the things I'm saying in there, I'm just kind of mad at him. I'm like, I could be in boot camp right now using my card because the jumping jacks were too hard for me. But instead, I'm over here and there ain't no cards and they don't care. They don't care. Like, they got a thrill from you throwing up, you know? Like, okay, you're going to throw up. Trash can's right there. And then you better come over here and let's keep doing it. Ugh. But anyways, just mad at the Lord about it. And it wasn't until, it had been a while. I remember being on deployment in the middle of the ocean being like, I could be stationed somewhere and doing all the things right now in the States or whatever, like, but no, I'm here in the middle of the ocean right now, and I don't even know what I'm doing over here. You know, like, what is my job? What are we doing? And so I would get so mad. Like, I would just get so angry. And it wasn't until I met my husband that I realized, oh, this is why. Because I knew something had, listen, I was like, there's got to be a reason for this. You ain't just going to put me here in this tin can in the middle of the ocean in the heat and put me through all this crap just for nothing, right? Right? So when I met my husband, I'm like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And looking back now, I'm like, yep, it was it. It was exactly it. Oh my gosh, it was it. Think about it. If I wouldn't have joined the Navy, I would have joined the Air Force. My life would be completely different. 1000% different. I probably wouldn't have, I don't know. I wouldn't have Chloe and Carson, obviously. But instead, I meet Mike, have these beautiful kids, just all these things. And it's like, I wonder if I would have went the other way, what would have happened? You know, it's just so crazy how life is, because when I was with my ex-husband, I was told I wouldn't have kids. There was a 30% chance that I would ever have kids. And I get with Mike and look what happened. And it's just like, God was like, my timing. And the reason we're talking about this today is because I ran across this and I was like, this is what I interpret from this. In Proverbs 16:9, it says, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. So we can sit here all day long. I could have sat there all day long and been like, I'm joining the Air Force. I'm going to get out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What I think is going to happen, we're not in control. And once you realize that, everything changes. Everything changes. Life is so unpredictable. Do I think that, was there ever a part of me that was like, I think that I'm going to move to Iowa one day? And no part of me ever said that I was going to be, no. If anything, I think I would have predicted that I lived on the beach still. We loved the beach. And there's days I'm like, why did we move to, like, your life is just like everything that happens, you have to think of it, everything. I wouldn't have moved here if my grandma was still alive. Okay. So we ultimately ended living or went to the Quad Cities to live there because my grandma was still alive and I wanted to spend time with her. And then we bought our house and not even a month later, she passed away. So then she, just all these things, you look at everything and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like a clear path. This person did this. And then now we all ended up here. And there's a reason for everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a reason for all of it. My husband got retired from the police department. And that was a hit for us. It was a slap in the face for us because we had just imagined he was going to retire from the police department. because that's what he imagined. That's what he had set in my mind. That's what we were going to do. He was going to retire as a cop. And then the next thing you know, they're saying, no, you can't come back. So we can have this is what's going to happen in my life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But it's not up to you. You kind of just have to go. You just have to flow with it. You got to go with things. I still struggle with that because I had planned, I said, you know what? Me and Mike have never stayed in one place. We're travelers. We'll just go wherever. The only thing that stops us is our children now because we're like, oh, we don't want to move their schools, whatever. But we have this plan. We have a plan. I'm not telling anybody the plan, but we have this plan to go somewhere. And we talk about it a lot. But as a lot of you know, me and him both start school in January for ministry. And we both kind of look at each other and we're like, we don't know where God's going to put us. We have no idea where God's going to put us. We're just going to go wherever he wants us. And that's pretty much all we're going to do is pray and say, hey, I hope I'm here where I want to be. I hope you'll put me right here and everything's going to align. But if it doesn't, I have to be okay with that. If it ends up being South Carolina, if it ends up being Maryland, if it ends up being California, wherever it is, I have to be okay with that. And that's hard. Because not only do I need to be okay with that, I have to teach my children that they have to be okay with that. Because we're doing the Lord's work. And that is so hard. And I think that's what's so hard with getting into this, to you finally being like, you know what, I think I know what I want to do. I think I was called to do this. I love to do this. And I'm going to go to heaven tired. I'm going to go real tired. I'm going to get up there and I'm just going to collapse and I'm going to be like, can I take a nap? Because I'm just going and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going to get as many people as I can to him. And I have to shape my children to understand that. I have to get them to understand that I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not separating myself from you during dinner to go do a podcast. I'm not doing another podcast on this day and missing something. I'm not doing that because I want to. I'm doing it because I have to. And I just hope that when they grow up, they realize their purpose. And the reason they'll find their purpose is by following the Lord. And then once you follow him, he'll give you your purpose. Because that's exactly what happened to me. I was lost. I was so lost. Ugh. Looking back at it, I'm like, wow. Just so lost. But I also know the whole time, everything I was going through, it was all to get me to here. It was a hard time. It was hard. Just a lot of things, just, it was like a roller coaster ride I did not want to be on. It was like a roller coaster ride they put me on and then they barely buckled the seatbelt and pushed the button and I went. And it wasn't until in May of last year, May, that I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. It was either I'm no longer going to be on this earth anymore or I have to change something. And that was a huge reality check for me because in my mind, people didn't see what I was going through. None of them seen it. I put on the best. I mean, I should honestly have an award for the best acting because every day I would make all these people laugh on TikTok. I mean, 200,000 people laughing at everything that I do. I was just always making jokes, always laughing, always, all the things, making other people laugh, making other people smile, but wasn't filling my own cup. I was so, at the end of the night, empty, depressed, sick. I mean, I had a stroke even, and I look back to that and I'm like, ooh, what got you there? What got you there? I think it was a lot of things. I think I was falling apart. And it wasn't until I came to the Lord and I said, okay, I'm done. And you guys know I had that supernatural experience. And if you haven't heard about that, I think it's episode 5, episode 6 It's my testimony, but something happened to me that night, and I've been different. I've been changed ever since. And I pray so much for people that they have that, because I know there's so many people like me that are just, they're lost. You're just like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know. Like, I was always looking for something. I didn't know what it was. I was always looking for something. It's the next thing. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? I need to. And now I finally feel like my cup is like, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I don't care if people watch my podcast or listen to my podcast. I just keep showing up. I just keep showing up. I'm just going to keep making the TikToks. I'm going to keep making the Facebooks. I'm going to keep showing up on my podcast. I'm going to keep doing all of these things, and I'm not going to stop, because I know my purpose here on earth was to do what I'm doing right now. To be me, show how I was real messy. Oof. And now look where I'm at, and life is beautiful. And, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be times where my faith is probably going to be so hard. Oh, it's going to be hard, because that's life. That's life. Life kicks you when you're down. But I know the people that I've met and the people who are in my life right now will hold me up 100%. Like, I no longer have to have the fear of, when I'm down that low, who's going to help me? I don't have to worry about that. I do not. I don't have to worry about, is that person going to be too high? Is that person going to be drunk? Is that person, like, I know I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like, it's that piece of, I know I can call people and it would be like, what do you need? I'll be there in a second. Just taking the reins from me. And it feels good. Feels good because, when they say become part of a church, you think you're going to go in there and everybody's going to be like, just patting the Bible and this, that, and the other. It's so different. Like, you guys know that you're at the wrong church. You're with the wrong people. That is not how it has to be. It is more of, how can I help you? This is a village raising these children, and we're all messy. We're all like, what? How can we help each other? And it's like a family. You are like a family with these people. Like, I feel like a family with these little kids on Sunday or on Wednesdays when I go see them. When I go to church, I feel like I'm a family with all those people. Like, we treat each other like family versus friends. So, yeah, it's just such a big sigh of relief. It's like, God's like, oh, see, I had your people the whole time. You just had to get to them. Y'all had to get to each other. That's what it was. I needed to get you guys together. And now y'all have each other, and you'll never be without each other. Because even in life, if I move here, there, or anywhere, you still have access to them. And you're still their sister in Christ. They're always going to be there for you, as you will be for them too. I read this thing that said, act like the person you'd want to work with. And I was like, dang, that's deep. Think about that. If everybody did that, y'all know you've worked with some people that you're just like, oh, I don't want to work with that person. But act like the person that you would want to work with. And if you guys haven't listened to my new podcast, it is amazing. It's breaking down the Bible one laugh at a time. Oh my gosh, that should be our... Oh my gosh, that actually should be it. Because we laugh a lot. It's just me explaining the Bible in terms you would understand, and we're having fun with it and literally doing Bible study on a podcast. It's called Sis, What's the Purpose? And it is every Monday a new episode drops. And we have study guides. We have all the things. So you don't have to get your Bible out. You don't have to do that. You can listen while you're in the car. I'm breaking it down for you verse by verse. And just kind of telling you the meaning behind it all. and what you should get from it, because I think what really scares people is the Bible, because it's intimidating. I remember when my mom used to take us to the Catholic Church, I would see it just sitting behind the pew, in that little thing, and I'd be like, ooh. And then there would be things up there that would like tell you where to go, and I'd be like, I don't even know what that means. I would act like I did, like try to open the Bible, I'd be like, I don't even know. And now you tell me to go to something, and I'm like, I know how to get there, and I want to walk you through the stories. I want to show you it doesn't have to be boring. It does not have to be boring. Come laugh with us. It's called Sis, What's the Purpose? Every Monday. So if you have not downloaded that yet, please do. And also, if you know this podcast is beneficial to you, please send it to somebody. Be a good friend. Be a good human. Send it. Let them know. We're still going to do the testimony. One of my favorite parts of this podcast is the testimonies. And today I got a doozy one for you. Today I got one that's like, I have to give you a warning. Oof. I have to give you a warning. I do with today's testimony. It's an essay warning. Sexual assault and grooming. Now, yeah, I guess that's the label I'm giving it. Now, I don't know what you would place it in, but it's, I read it and I was like, wow. Okay. So let's get into it. This testimony is from Amanda. Amanda writes, my name is Amanda, and for most of my life, I thought love was something I had to earn. When I was just 2 years old, my dad was killed in a car accident. I don't remember his face, his voice, or the sound of him calling me his little girl, but I do remember growing up with an emptiness where a father's love should have been. My mom did her best to fill that space. She worked hard, she was strong, but I always longed for that dad who'd show up to my games and tell me he was proud. When I was 10, my mom remarried. I finally felt like maybe that hole in my heart could close. My new stepdad was everything I thought I'd been missing. He showed up to every recital, every softball game, and every birthday party. He never missed a thing. It was just me, my older brother, and him, and for a long time I believed we were whole again. But when I hit 16, the cracks began to show. My mom and stepdad grew distant, and I could sense a divorce was coming. My brother went off to college, and suddenly it was just me and him in that house. I didn't realize it then, but he was slowly isolating me, making himself the center of my world. What I thought was love and attention was really control. He'd get irritated if I wanted to go out with friends. He'd make me feel guilty for not spending time with him. He wasn't acting like a dad anymore. He was acting like someone grooming a girl to depend on him. When I was 17, he took me on a trip for a softball tournament out of town. My mom couldn't make it, but I didn't care. It was no big deal since he'd always supported me anyways. But that trip changed everything. He let me drink in the hotel room and even brought THC gummies for us to take together. I thought I was just being treated like an adult, but in reality, I was being manipulated. He blurred the lines until there were no lines left. By the time I turned 18, my mom and him were practically strangers. He came into my room one night and things went too far. I didn't even understand what was happening. All I knew was that the man who had raised me like a father had crossed the line completely. It didn't stop there. He'd drive 2 hours to my college to see me, rent a hotel, and keep the secret going. I thought it was love. I thought I was special, but I wasn't. I was trapped. When we got caught, it was my brother who walked in on us. And in that moment, my entire world fell apart. My mom's heart shattered. She couldn't even process it. I panicked and I ran. Shame took over. But God wasn't done with my story. After my family stepped in and sent me to a 3-month retreat, I learned the truth. What I went through was grooming, not love. I learned how manipulation hides behind attention, how control disguises itself as care, and how shame doesn't belong to the victim, it belongs to the abuser. The retreat became my turning point. God began healing what he had broken for years. I started to see myself not as damaged, but as delivered. I realized that my story, as messy and painful as it is, can be used to help someone else see the truth sooner than I did. Now I live across the country, starting fresh. I'm building a life rooted in peace, not pain. I'm surrounded by people who love me, not for what they can take from me. I'll never get back those years of my life, but I can use them. I can speak up for girls who don't yet realize they're being groomed. I can remind them real love doesn't hide in the dark. It doesn't isolate. It protects you, honors you, and points you back to God. If you've been through something like this, please hear me out. You are not to blame. What happened to you is not who you are. God can take the most twisted, broken story and turn it into something beautiful. I'm living proof that your past doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Amanda. And if you would like to share your story, please email us to comeasyoure@mrsmotivated.com, mrsmotivated.com, or you can email me at Melinda, that's MELINDA, at mrsmotivated.com. And if you would like to email your story in, that is fine. You can even tell your story on the podcast. We can get that set up. So just let us know, and we would love to share your testimony. And as always, you guys, thank you for being here. I am so blessed to have you guys show up for me weekly, and my numbers on my podcast just keep going up, and I get like this anxious, like, I feel like I should be giving more, but I'm just going to be myself. I love you guys to the moon and back. And as always, thank you for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye.